Thank you. Hi, this is March 28th, 2022. It's our March board meeting. And we've got myself, Trupti Suthar, Lindsay Krenzer, Bobby Vendrasic, and Bill Hare. We're getting a bit of a late start. A couple of folks are going to be late and we're still waiting. We don't have a quorum at this point. Katie and Joseph will be out today, and Emma and Dawn will be late. We're just talking about who's planning on running for board for the 22-23 SUNI year. So far, Lindsay, Bobby, myself will continue to run for the board. Bill has indicated that he will be stepping down, and I want to thank him for his contributions. And we'll find out from the rest of the folks when they get on. What we have on the agenda today, we've got really talk about the annual meeting and elections and the tasks and timelines, and then membership, website, budget, committee updates if we have time, although we started a little bit late. I'm going to move and folks can just catch up. I'm going to jump over and let me make sure, yeah, you guys can see this. Who signed up for what so far? And I have not went and made a visit yet to the venue, but the whole point there is, you know, if there's AV, maybe we don't need, you know, as many printouts or something like that. If like for the annual report part of it, like whether we're giving everybody, obviously a ballot we'd have to give them. I don't think we've ever used AV there before, so we'd be prepared to make some printouts. And then trash, because we do have our sustainability group coming and we're going to try to make this a zero waste by using compostable for the most part, and, you know, cans or bottles, things that can be recycled, and just assessing whether they actually recycle and compost there. Now, I hope they do. They have an agricultural program there, you know, and they do a CSA out of there. If they didn't, maybe our sustainability group can help them, you know, be more zero waste and bring in composting and recycling. But in the past, we have brought our own bins in, and we've taken the trash out. So that's really those two pieces there. And Bobby, you know, Bobby and I are we tried to connect before this call, but we had technical issues, and we will talk after this call. And what I was going to share with him were the old past collaterals, you know, the postcard from 2019, if we decide to do a postcard or a flyer, but some marketing collateral. And Bobby, do you have access to Adobe?
Oh, absolutely. I love the Adobe Suite.
Oh, good. And the fact that you love it is even better. That means you know how to use it. I don't know how to use it. I don't have access to it. So it'll be so much easier because you'll be able to import a lot more stuff than Canva. And I think Canva is still on my dime. I have not moved it over, but I think I'm going to cancel it. I just don't think it's as good. It's been sufficient, but they have some deficiencies. So if we've got a couple of people with Adobe, and I think Emma, thank you for joining. Emma's got Adobe as well. Adobe is a better tool for any marketing. And I think what would make sense for us is to have and create once our SIPR marketing, our annual meeting marketing, our jazz marketing, and then, you know, it's ours, you know, we're not, you know, we don't have to worry about it belonging to somebody else. And then we could just change dates, and that can become much easier, and no one's really going to care that the marketing looks similar. In fact, that might be good. Emma, thanks. I didn't see minutes, so I don't know if minutes are something we need to.
You didn't see them because I didn't put them in there, so I will have them for the next time with these minutes.
Yep. Thank you. Which will be May, because we won't meet again till May. We're just going through. Yeah. So Bobby can do that. He's got the tools, and I don't know if it's like Canva, but you can create one format and then change it to 3 other formats. So does Adobe allow you to, you know, have a Facebook event, a flyer size, and with like minimal movements?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, we've used stuff before, so I think it'll be really easy for you, and we'll connect. He and I are going to talk right after the 8 o'clock this call, because we couldn't connect earlier. And then to put it on those platforms, you know, I think we're going to have to work on it this week, Bobby, if we can get that done, because then it gets into our newsletter. However, even if it doesn't, we would do a mid-month reminder anyway as a separate, SUNI scoop. So I think we'll have an opportunity to do that. So Bill, you signed up for the postcards. And so postcards, designing them, Bobby, getting them printed, whoever, that's not the issue. With the mailing part becomes the organizing of mail routes. A direct mailing through bulk mailing through USPS has a little system. You go there, you pick up their bins, right? How many bins you're going to need. You're going to have to count out the number you need for each route. The number of people on a route is something they're going to give you. You print it out, you rubber band that together, and basically what you give them back is stacks and stacks with the appropriate number of copies that go within each route. So there would be 5,000 of these to do. So, even another volunteer, but this would be, we all have to get together at someone's house to knock it out within a day, a couple of hours. I've only done this once, and that was just to learn it. And that was, I think, this event in 2019. That was, or maybe it was Jazz in the Park in 2019. So I've only done it once, but I think we can figure it out. Bill, you still up for that?
Trupti, I can help Bill with that. I just don't know the process, so I need someone else that can kind of lead, but I can help with
And
the mail portion.
That'll be me, because I think out of this group, I'm the only one who's done it once, but there could be other people who've done it outside of here. It wasn't hard, it was just a process, but I'll figure that out. I was actually on our USPS site today, and as part of me trying to transition stuff out of my name and put Sunny's name, including emails, so that user ID and passwords are all something that everybody can access. I was in there today as well. And I actually think that it might be cheaper, slightly cheaper than flyers. Flyers are easier. That would be the only difference. We get flyers, we get a hole punched in them, we give somebody 20 cents a flyer, they put a rubber band in, and we don't have to do anything. But I think mail might be better. Last year we did flyers maybe for the first time for Jazz last year. One of the things I think maybe even Dawn had identified was like, they were flying around the neighborhood, right? Because they were outside, stuck in a railing or in a doorknob or whatever. So, but this group can decide. I don't think money is the biggest issue. The issue is, which one do we think is the most impactful? I sent a second email out to Jason at Crush Pizza, who has in the past donated pizza for ad time and then ad space. And then Dan Debo was also interested in like $250. So it's just a way to we probably have room for another, so maybe another free food. So chips and nachos, something like that. If not, we pay for it, and we budgeted as if we would have to pay for it. I kind of go with let's budget and make sure we can pay for it. And then if we can get it for free, we try, but if not, everybody knows that we're going to pay for it. But anyway, with Bill, with that postcard kind of process, maybe 2-3 hours at someone's house, are you good with that just to help us?
I am.
I appreciate that. Thank you. The next step, putting it on, is not going to be a problem. Now, Bobby, you're already signing up for quite a bit. So, I think we should get other people to help do this. Your last name, like we're in college. Everybody's the last name. But we're covered on the marketing as far as, getting it out. But putting the flyers in, we should probably get somebody else. Emma, would you be interested? I don't know if you signed up for anything specific on here. Would you be interested in, or would you be able to help us put it into the coffee shops? Like, we probably only put out about 20. It's not a lot.
Yeah, I can help with that.
I think with the 20, that might be just one person. It's like, Radiator, Monkey Barrel, OG Dental, kind of, each of these kind of corners, wherever there's a window and they'll allow us to do it. Most people do. Cherry Bean, Huckleberry, Walshanky, Zia. So we usually get 20, 25, some double-sided, some single-sided, depending on the window that we're putting it in. Usually, I've done that in the past. It's just jumping in the car and giving myself a little bit of time. to go around the neighborhood. All right. Okay. So, and the ballot, I think we did a digital ballot in 2020 and we did nothing in 2021 because we kind of just decided to go the 14 months and, or whatever, 16 months almost, and just do it the following year. And that's what brings us here. But it's relatively easy. And I will show you the folders where I have stuff, but we should go and look at it. Obviously, we'll make changes. Bill says he's stepping down, and anybody else, there are a few new people who we haven't added. But let me show you what we've done before. This is what it looked like before, but it's not going to look like this. It's going to be SurveyMonkey version, but it's something really simple, which is checkbox with a bio. And we've kind of done it as continuing board members and new board members, and a place for folks to write in. I would think that the write-in folks should be, consideration for the board type of thing, and they become interim in a sense, because they're not getting voted on, in my opinion, by anybody else, since it's a write-in. But it's something really simple like this, but it is a good way if anybody's interested to pick some new people up. Any questions? Kind of what I'm going through so far. Does that stuff make sense?
Making sense for me.
All right. So, and then the annual presentation, and we've really, honestly, we've done it various ways. In 2020, in October, I think we did our annual meeting and we did it virtually, and we had like 30 people sign up and like 12 people show up. We did have some guest speakers at the time. We had just an annual report with kind of finances, what we did, what our membership looks like. I don't know that we did this last year, but I think we should add in like the thank yous to folks who've supported us through sponsorships and donations, like the businesses that we can point out. This could be something that is also part of that, what do we do for businesses to help them, by putting their names on things. But that is kind of that piece of it. So accomplishments, events, whatever it is. So, and I think each of the leads there could just put into this document whatever they want to cover. They could be the ones standing up and speaking to those pieces. Carrie Goddard, who is an ex-board member, and she's the one who brought Mike DeBell in. Okay, so Mike is who I'm missing, who I haven't heard from. Okay, just I was like thinking I'm forgetting somebody. But Carrie, who's still, she's not in the neighborhood, but we're friends. But I was talking to her and I was like, she used to do this, and she said she'd do that for us this time. So she was securing some prizes. So one of the things that we did were raffles. So everybody who showed up, we gave them, a ticket, and then Lindsay, we could talk about who gets a ticket, when we talk about membership. But typically we gave folks ticket who showed up, and then we did raffles. And I think we might've even had like little cups in front of the different prizes, and people took their ticket and put them into wherever they wanted, that type of thing. And then we did a drawing. But if we don't get much donations, at least in the 3,000 that we covered, I think 300, and there could be a little bit more, was still available. So if we have to go buy prizes or buy gift certificate, that's kind of the money that we have to do that with. And any concern with, kind of using that money, any concern with the doing the prizes and this kid activities and any of this stuff so far?
No, I don't think so, Trippy. I think in our previous meeting, we said in total up to 3,000 for the annual meeting. So as long as we're under that number, we're good to go.
Yep. And here, this was just kind of the pre-order purchase, donation, whatever it is. We don't have somebody in there. Disinfectant and masks. I have some of this stuff because we bought it, a while, and it's something we could just have on tables for people in case people are comfortable and that's what they need. Sign up sheets. Lindsay, I'll talk to you about those because they're really basic. I've used them for all events. However, if we want to collect more information or less information, this will be pretty easy to design, and I can print those out. That won't be a problem. All right, so Bill and Joseph. So Joseph's on he's in Guam, but he's back like I think the 24th. But Room setup. Bill, you might have done room setup before. Do you
Have.
recall?
Yes, I've done it before.
Yeah, can you share like how much work it was? Was it just rearranging tables, or was it like opening, expanding? They were empty. I think it was rearranging, but just share with us like how much work we have. I think we have an hour ahead of time.
I don't remember anything but rearranging, and then setting up the prize table, getting ready for the pizzas to come in. It was pretty straightforward.
And an hour is enough time, right?
I think it should be more than enough time.
Okay, great. And Joseph had volunteered to go, pick it up, I believe, as well. So, I think we're good there. But I think, on the day of, you never know, who runs into what problem, what happens. So we probably just, I probably have my husband, who I'm not even putting on there, but just be a backup to any, last minute runs or something like that. I think Lindsay was thinking her husband would be there to help as well, on some of this. But one of the things that maybe one of the only meetings that I've been to, I've probably only been to 2 or 3, and it's been years now. But what we did notice, we had one sign up table, but there was a really big backup on the sign up table piece of it, because people were buying membership and they were signing into like, here we are. Yes, I want to be on the newsletter. Yes, I'm paying, whatever. Yes, I want to volunteer. So that, to me, that we definitely need 2 people who can, maybe more, who can run credit cards, and somebody else who can just help answer questions. I will be post-surgery. I will be one of those people at a table for sure. I will not be moving tables that day. But that, I just want to warn you that was the only backup, that kind of occurred. And hopefully the 30 minutes that we're allotting for people to stroll in before food starts and then programming starts at 7, something like that, is sufficient. But that was the only thing there. I haven't even started the annual report, but expect me to reach out to any of the leads to help put some of that stuff together. But I'll work on that this week. Oh, Emma, did I put you down for this, or did you put yourself down for this?
I put myself down for that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see that. That's why I was like, oh, I hadn't seen this. So I think this is going to be easy. I think it's more about just if we have 4 or 5 prizes, just kind of stopping and saying, okay, we're going to run a raffle now. So I think that could be really easy. I think the folks doing the setup can put the table up, whatever prizes are, usually gift certificates or little baskets. That'll be already up. We have little containers that we can use to put, unless you want to do it a different way, let me know. But what we've done in the past is just people put in what they want to be eligible for. And then, so Emma, you'd be running, you'd be pulling the prizes at whatever 15-minute intervals, or, toward the end, whatever we think. I'm not too hung up on that, but let's decide what we're doing.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Okay, wonderful. So we don't have anybody for here, and I'm gonna say Dawn and Lenny can get on here. I think they both plan on being here. They're not on anything else. They're on events. I talked to Dawn earlier
We're
this
on
week.
call, Shruti.
Oh, you are, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
I didn't see you. Yeah, all right. So at this point, cleanup and breakdown are the only things left. At least on the garbage, we will have Amy and Rich to take care of composting and recycling. The rest of the garbage probably just can go into their garbage, but those 2 things, if they don't exist, these guys will bring in containers. Like I volunteered my compost bin to just drag it over to Smedley and then drag it back home. But they'll take care of that. So I think it'll just be like putting the room back together at this point. So, I mean, do you and Lenny want to be on this? I don't know if does anybody else want to work on this, but this is a spot that's left.
we're good with that. Lenny's on the call too.
Hey, Lenny.
Hi. Yeah, I'm fine with helping them put it back together, clean up.
I think it won't be so bad. Now, I have not reached out to Independence House for volunteers. I mean, even if we don't need them, I think it's always great to have that connection with our halfway house and really just including them as part of our community. And they're usually pretty good. Actually, it was out of all of the events where they've participated, it was only one where 2 people just didn't show up and they just decided not to. So 2 out of 3 didn't show up. So I think we just need to be prepared for any backup. But you know, I think they could also go in here and then, you know, or they could just be there to help out between these 2 things is usually what we have them do. Something like that, or they've helped serve food in the past. But with pizza, I don't think we, you know, probably want less people touching stuff. I don't know. I guess that's something to talk about. Like, you know, anyway, this is where we are. I think we have somebody for everything. We might need, I think we're good on the mailing piece of it as well, unless, does somebody else want to come? And because, well, so Bill won't be staying on the board. Bobby will learn this, but it's always good to have more people who know how to do this, because in the future, if it needs to be done again. So just more for understanding what the process is. Does anybody else want to help with this?
Trupti, you can put me there too.
All right. But yeah, I mean, and it's just about like, oh, I remember doing this. I remember what to do here. So I think that's helpful. So we have everything. We have folks for everything here so far. All right. So timing, we kind of said that 4/2, I think, was the date by which we want to be ready to deploy marketing. So let's kind of talk a little bit about the marketing that needs to be deployed. One, we have a postcard mailer. Okay, so Bobby is on task. So Bobby, do you think, have you seen the one that I pointed you to?
Yep, I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, okay. Do you think recreating that and changing dates and maybe the sponsor logos, and even the sponsor logos, we need them pretty soon. Is this something like we can get done by this weekend?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna look at my calendar real quick. And people jump in with like, if you know, if it's too early, it's too late, or anything like that. So that would be 4/2. If that stuff is ready, then it needs to go to a printer. Then we're gonna give it about, it might be 2 to 3 days. I mean, with 5,000, it could be a little bit, you know, longer. Who we've used is National Teleprinting. They've moved, but they're still in Denver, but I don't even know where they went. They just said, just call the number. The number will be the same. But they used to be on Blake and 14th, and they've been really good. Actually, we have used Colorgraph that's on 38th and Pecos. And in fact, I think it was for the pizza party, and the quality was really bad. There was a lot of bleeding. They were super delayed, you know, and so, but you know, maybe, you know, we could look for another group locally. Bill, you use somebody, Rocky Mountain something for.
That's
yard
what we
signs.
used. That's what we used for the yard signs. I don't know that they do. I don't know whether they do flyers and things of that sort.
What were they called? Rocky Mountain what?
Rocky Mountain Blueprint.
Blueprint. I haven't, sorry, go ahead.
Rocket printing and mailing on Tennyson is also really good. They've done a bunch of printing for the
Awesome.
North Star.
Oh, awesome. So does somebody want to call up Rocky Mountain and Rocket Printing and get some pricing? And right now we're looking at a postcard mailer, and after this call, I'll send you, actually, if you look, hold on, is it in here? I mean, it's in here, but it's in a different spot. Hold on, let me just show you. What I'm hoping is that we can recreate, just reuse this. And Bobby, we want to make sure that the credit to the individual who created that stays on there. That is one thing that she has indicated in the past, is make sure if you use her material that you, there we go, that you keep the credits there.
No problem.
Yeah, so it's this, I'm trying to think, was it something like a 5x7 type of postcard on, glossy, thick paper. This is what it would look like. She gave us 3 different colors with like a green background, red background, yellow background. We can figure that out. But getting a price on like close to 5,000 of these, and then posters, probably about, how about 20 double-sided, 20 single-sided posters that are like the 11 by 17. I think that's a standard poster size. Does somebody want to make the phone calls and get prices on this?
I can make the phone calls. I'm just taking notes here to make sure I'm getting the correct numbers down.
All right. Well, Bobby, you're doing a lot, so thank you. And others are welcome to take this on instead.
How many postcards did you say, Tripti? 5,000?
Go with 5,000, yeah. We'll know when we get like the routes, and I can go back to 2019, but it's something like 4,700. But yeah, so, and then I'll get the price from National Teleprinting, and then we'll just go with whoever, if, I think, we've got Emma speaking for Rocket Printing, doing good quality work. Bill, with Rocky Mountain, have you used them for, no, you haven't. You've used them for yard signs only, right? The one time.
Correct.
They are also local. They're on Highland. So we could just check prices on all 3 and let's go with someone local. They're all local. They're all Denver, but we should go with whoever has probably the best price. And then obviously there'll be a timing issue. Some folks may not be able to turn it around quick enough and we might have to go with somebody else. So let's get prices on all 3 for those things. Am I missing something on hard collateral besides posters in businesses and mailers to all residents? All right. Oops. Okay. All right. So if we get that done by this week and we can get it to the printer like Monday, Tuesday, we most likely can have it back by, we're already kind of getting there, right? We can have it back by like the 8th. I think the 9th, 10th, that weekend, we probably need to do the sorting of this stuff and get it to the post office by the 11th, the latest. And if we could do this sooner, like push it up a little bit, that would be even better. Thoughts on that? I mean, I think 2 weeks is good to get these, but it's not too long, but it's long enough to get this in people's homes. Does that sound right?
Sooner the better.
That's my thought too. Okay, so Bobby, I think that the first piece is to develop it. So the sooner the better. If you can get that developed and we can get it into the printer's hands before the end of this week, we might have, we can get working on, and that will really work actually. Actually, that'll be good because I'm on vacation. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm on vacation, April 7th through 11th. I apologize. So we want to get this sorted and to the post office by the 6th.
Doable.
Okay, wonderful. I think the only thing is when you guys call tomorrow, or hopefully you call tomorrow or soon, just find out what the turnaround time is on something this big. The somewhere between like the 31st and the 5th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then we'll find a location to do this. We can do it somewhere fun and have beers or something as well, to sort all this. Okay, what else on? All right, then then the other thing we had talked about, and Lindsay, you kind of, you were like, yeah, maybe that's not how we want to do it. So I want to bring this back up for conversation, which is we were talking about the digital ballot going out ahead, or do we send out the digital ballot right after our annual meeting? So we'll have hard copy annual meeting, then we send out the digital ballot. No one expects the answer the day of the meeting anyway. What we do want is to have the ballot tabulations done before our next meeting when we choose officers and committee leads. So thoughts on the digital ballot? Number one, do we want to do it? And number two, if yes, when do we want to send it out?
So Tripti, I just thought of this, is if we do a digital ballot and send it out beforehand, it does give us another like easy promotion for the event to get people in person as well.
Good point.
So that makes me think, hey, let's do it before, but let's not do it super like let's do it like the Monday before, because if we're sending out an email and postcard this next week and they get that by the 15th, we send a mid-month reminder that's going to get out there like the 20th, then this is our easy week of here's the ballot, vote, or come in person and meet people.
Okay, all right. So do we do the digital ballot with the SUNI Scoop on the 20th? You know, that midweek, the scoop. So let's talk about those things specifically, right? When do we want the digital marketing to go out? So we talked about the printing and mailers, and we want the mailers to be ready to, well, just to the post office, I think, by the 6th. Because if we don't do it by the 6th, we can't get it to them till at least the 13th. So by the 6th is what we should aim for. Mailers by 4/6. It'll probably take them a couple of days. Then we have a weekend in there, but somewhere around the 11th and 12th, I'd expect those mailers to have been out. So that's the mailers.
What is the mid-month newsletter, digital newsletter you're talking about? Sorry.
So the mid-month is something, it's one we just do because of a special news flash must. So this is, we don't do a mid-month unless we have to do it. And in this situation, we would do it because it's an important and big event. So, you know, because the other one is going to go out. It is going out. Hold on. When is our land use is on the 7th. It would go out on the 2nd. Our newsletter is going out on the 2nd. And we're going to have the digital marketing and graphics and stuff ready that says, hold the date, this is happening. We can put in, expect a postcard, expect a, you know, whatever. There'll be a digital ballot. We want you to show up, pizza party, all that stuff. So that's going to go out on the 2nd. But then we would do a, you know, something, and that something, do we want it on the 20th? Do we want it on the 18th? Let's pick a date and aim for that date. So for the SUNI Scoop, that's going to be, hey, we don't forget, we've got this meeting. And at the same time, we could have the link and we could put it on Facebook, we could put it on Nextdoor. We can have the link for the digital ballot. What date do we want to do that?
I say the 18th.
That's Easter. That's a Easter Sunday. It's the 18th.
Oh, sorry. The 19th would be, well,
Yeah.
19th is tax day and you have your surgery. So maybe like the 21st, because then it's like right at a week beforehand. It's midweek, so that's got a higher chance of getting opened.
Yep. You just don't want to do it on a Monday or a Friday. But Emma, I know you have expertise in this area.
Well, I'm just saying Easter Sunday is the 17th, not the 18th. 18th is a Monday.
Yep.
You want to do emails usually a Tuesday or a Wednesday because those are the best open
So
rate
then I
days.
say the 20th. So SUNI Scoop with Survey Monkey, digital ballot, and, you know, reminder, postcard, graphic, all that stuff on 4/20th. 4/20th. Okay, I like that. That will probably need to be created ahead of time and just ready to go and scheduled in a sense, because I won't be able to do it. But Katie, I'll get Katie, I'll talk to her about these things and we can get her to have that ready. So I think that makes sense. 420. I'm sorry. 420 still makes me laugh. I'm sorry. We're in Denver. It's still funny. Okay, what else? Okay, so we've got the digital, we've got the Sunny Scoop digital ballot on 420. We got the mailers going out 4/6, hitting people's mailboxes 4/11/12. We've got the digital marketing actually going out on 4/2 because that's the newsletter. So that's the day we should have the newsletter. And then we can schedule something like weekly posts as reminders with the graphic and the event reminder. So we can just schedule that post to go out once a week up to that the week of. Does that make sense? Am I missing something?
Have we historically done Facebook events?
Yes.
Okay.
We do Facebook events. I mean, and Facebook is almost the like exclusively the only digital platform besides the newsletter that we use. Many times I go in and just post on Facebook as myself. On Nextdoor, we haven't even created a business account on Nextdoor, but that's probably something that we should do, is have a business account on Nextdoor for Sunny. But I usually just put it there as well. But yeah, Facebook is kind of exclusively the only place we do it. And obviously we'll put this on our website too, but we could do it on the website soon as the graphic is available. So to me, we could put the date and the event on Facebook and website by 4/2. In fact, let me put that down. Given Bobby gets it all done. Okay, all right. So for food, let's talk about food. We got pizza. My thought was pizza, a side something, some cookies or cupcakes. What are you guys thinking about pizza? I mean, I'm gonna be looking for donations. So if Nescio does, guacamole, and chips, we can do that too. But any thought on the minimum amount? And one of our challenges is we don't know how many people are going to show up. That's always the challenge. So do we go with the number like 50? Do we go with the number like 100? I'm inclined to think more 100, but I'd like to get people's thoughts on that because it impacts how much food we order and what foods to order. So please share.
I mean, based on recent in-person turnout for things, I would say 50.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 75 is the upper end. I think 100 would be a little bit much.
Okay, I like that. 50 to 75. I mean, if you tell me 50 to 75, I'm going to go with 75. I think 75, it'd be the upper end. The last thing we want is not enough food. And if there's extra food, we send it home with people. Anybody, send it home with the, Independence House guys. Anybody wants extra pizza? Hey, Dawn, I mean, well, the last time we did this, I think we did a head count of like 150. But again, that was 2019 pre-pandemic. So 75 would be great, in my opinion, if we got that many. Are you guys comfortable with estimating for 75?
I mean, I think 75 is an extremely high number, but I think that is the upper level we should ever look at.
And as far as food, 1 slice per person, 1.5 slices per person, 2 slices per person. Okay, anybody have thoughts on that? Because as I asked like Jason for free food or a discount, I kind of need a number of pies, so, and I can do the math on that for 75. But if we do other foods, like, should we have something like a side salad or something else, or veggie sticks? But again, back to the whole people touching and whatever, I don't even know what to think about food at this point in a COVID setting. So I'd like to hear from others. So we've got pizza. I'm thinking water. I'm actually like LaCroix type of, some canned water. I'm not even thinking soda, but that's just me because I'm like, we don't want to promote soda. But where's everybody else at? Should we just have a mix of pop and water? I'm fine with that.
I would probably deflect for what other people said, but I think soda and pop have become less and less popular, where like LaCroix and those have become more popular.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, and that's why I was kind
Yeah.
of is some kind of canned bubbly water.
I think canned bubbly water is good, which just make it simple.
Yep. That's what I was thinking. And so, cookies, cupcakes, cookies, I think are easy, like as a little dessert. What are your,
Cookies have less trash.
less trash. I like that. Yep. We don't want bags of chips. I mean, think zero waste a little bit, right? So think about how we can have less of that. Okay. So cookies are fine. Should we do something, like veggie sticks?
Are you saying like veggies and ranch dip kind of thing?
Something like that, one of those platters you can get from King Super.
I would vote no, too
Okay.
much touching.
So that's why I was like trying to figure out like what makes sense in terms of,
I would do pizza where you can have one person handing out pizza to people and just right on their plates.
with their gloves.
Yeah,
With their
veggie
gloves.
trays are just, and they're just messy. If you wanted to do something extra, I would say maybe like cubes of cheese or something that can have like toothpicks. Or you could just pick it up with your fork, but once again, just less touching. Or I think
Even
we
the
can just keep
vegetables-
it simple with pizza. Or pizza, maybe salad.
Well, so salad, same thing. And I was thinking salad, and I'm fine with that too, which is, you've got a tong, and actually even the tong, so it can be controlled by servers. We did not put in servers on this thing here as a task, but I think we might need servers. This is where I think the Independence House guys are perfect. But we'll need backup on them in case they don't show up. And we also need, who's going to reach out to them. Dawn, I think you said you would reach out to them when we talked, but I have their email. I can reach out, but I won't know. But 2 to 3 people from there, and we could have gloves and we could have tongs, obviously. So I kind of like a salad. I just feel like we need something other than pizza and cookies.
We can manage the salad. I think that works well.
Salad. Okay, perfect. Okay, so cookies and salad, hopefully pizza's donated. Cookies and salad we'll pick up from King Super. That sound good? Okay, and canned water. All right, thank you guys. That was definitely what I needed. We don't know what we have for prizes yet, but whatever we have, we'll do. What we have done in the past is we'd have like crayons for kids who show up with like little, sheets for coloring and like, some, games and stuff like that to keep kids occupied. We usually get like 3, 4, a few kids who show up. In the past, we would have had like a prize for the kids too. So what are your thoughts? Do you guys want to do that? I mean, it's just, it's probably $20. It's not the money, but it is something to do or not do. Kids, games, prize, yes or no? Fuck the kids then. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't mind. It's, just want to know so we can put that down as something to do and have.
I don't think we don't need to take extra step for kids. I don't expect a lot to be in attendance.
Sounds good. Okay, I think that's the end of that. Oh, the annual report. One of the things that, and I mean, I'm going to be hard pressed to get this stuff done on time, and maybe all of you guys are too. One of the thoughts we had was let's deploy it at the same time as something else. We put it on our website before the mid, scoop, or we only do hard copy. And the reason that makes a difference is when we need it to be ready by. if we're gonna have it ready earlier, because we are saying it's gonna go out at the same time as the ballot goes out, potentially, that's kind of where I'm thinking. So what's your thought on having the annual report out by when?
I mean, I think we can just do the annual report at the meeting and then send it out after if people are interested. With like the next monthly newsletter.
Agreed.
Anyone else?
Yeah, that works.
I mean, if we have it earlier, we put it out earlier. If we don't have it earlier, then we don't have to be in a time crunch about it. I think that's the only difference. To me, I think when the digital ballot goes out is when we'd want it, because this is like, this is who we are and this is what we're doing. This is why you should care. So, and we're thinking digital ballot goes out with the 420, that mid thing. That's, to me, we would have it on our website at that point is where, so it'd be a link to the website. We wouldn't be printing it out at, or we're doing anything different. But that would be the only other thing. If not, I'm okay with not even having it ready till the day of, and then we post it on our website.
Well, I think you have the brunt of that work, don't you, Tripti? Of the annual report.
Yes.
So I mean, if you think you can have it done by 420, I think that's a good goal. And then we just
I'm gonna have to have it done by 420 because 419 is my surgery. After
Right.
that next week, I'm probably useless. So,
Yeah. Like, you have to have it anyway, so we might as well make the deadline for people to turn stuff in the 12th, the week before, so you've got the time to put it in. And then if stuff hits the wall, then we can always push it back. But
okay, yeah, that's what I'm thinking is make it a little earlier because we can always push it back. But okay, yeah, all right, that sounds good. That sounds good. Okay, I think that covers all of this stuff. Does anybody have any questions on kind of that process? Everybody, everybody should be there by 5:45, except the folks who are actually helping set up the room. They probably should be there at 5. I'll be there. Don't know how yet, but I'll be there. If not, I might be looking to one of you guys to kind of lead that. I'll see, I'll know what's looking like for me. But does that make sense? 5:45 for all the people who are coming in, for the checking in of people and all that kind of stuff, and 5 for the 2-3 people who are helping to actually set up. And that's when the door opens for us. Okay. 5 and 5:45. All right. I don't know how much time we have left. Hold on. That took a good amount of time. So I think we're good on this. I don't know what we have for prizes, but we'll figure all this stuff out. We'll buy it if we need to. Dawn, anything else? Can you think of stuff here that's missing? I'm always worried about what's missing, what I don't know.
You're live.
I don't know about gift baskets, if you have enough for doing any kind of raffles.
Yes, we have a $300 budget for raffles, but we also have Carrie going soliciting for gifts first. And and I did let her know that we have a $300 budget max, and if it helped to buy a gift card and they would give a gift card as a matching, use that as the leverage if we needed to use it as a leverage.
Yeah,
We are
we need a
thinking
match.
I'm sorry?
I said, I think a match would be great.
Well, yeah, I meant like if somebody's willing to do it, right? So
Right, if they're willing to do that, if we do the ask, we should ask, I don't know, if you did a purchase, say for instance, at Mojave, and then they maybe matched us with the gift card.
right. Do you want to do this? Like connect you with Carrie so you guys can talk about who you talked to, who you didn't talk to, and who,
Sure, I'll help her.
Okay, yeah, all right. So I'll put an email out to you and Carrie. Sorry, writing myself a note. Yeah, whatever we can get. But again, even if we had to just buy everything, $50, gift baskets or, something like that. We still have like 6 prizes. So I think the $300 budget is going to be fine. We're, already sharing food there. Okay, so I think that's set. I mean, expect, folks and emails and work to happen. Let's see what else we have on our agenda. Okay. Okay, hold on. Dawn and Lenny, we asked who's running, and I obviously, there's people missing on here, so I'll have to ask them as well. For next year, everybody on this call is going to be on the ballot except Bill. Oh, Emma, I didn't ask you either. Emma, do you plan on staying on the board?
At this point, yes.
Yay. Thank you. Dawn, Lenny. Dawn?
Sorry, I was muted. I said yes.
Dawn and
And
Lenny,
then-
both?
Sorry, Lenny was talking already.
Is that a yes too? Both yes?
I'm planning on just stepping down and being a volunteer capacity.
Volunteer. Okay. And Mike, Katie, and Joseph are not on the call. I assume they're all going to say, I haven't heard them. And, Joseph's brand new. He just kind of came on a couple months ago. So I assume he will too. But I will follow up with them. And where it makes a difference is obviously for the bios and who's on there. And then I asked everybody who's ever wanted to join for a bio. So I have a starting place and we'll put that all together. And Dawn, actually, Bobby has already signed up for the bio. So I know you and I kind of talked about that, but he had already signed up for that. So I'll just work with him. And then we'll send it out like this week. And if there's any edits to be made, people can make those edits. Okay, that sounds good. All right. So membership, Lindsay. You sent out a document, and is it somewhere I can open it up again? And I'm sorry, I didn't have it. up
If
and
you
ready.
go to our SUNY file and then go to membership, yes, it should be in there. It should say SUNY membership levels,
There you are.
2022, 2023.
All right, so this is Lindsay kind of assessing what we have done and kind of what we could do. Lindsay also, her 9 to 5 is with a nonprofit, so she has some experience in this space. And this was kind of her taking a stab at kind of where should we go? What can we do? And the goal here is for all of you guys to kind of look at it and provide feedback and and edits here on. So go ahead, Lindsay, take it away.
Yeah, definitely. I think I started chatting about this last time, but couple of things that we were trying to do. I think that as far as goals, those are pretty straightforward: engaging local businesses and the community members, then streamlining the administrative oversight to make it as easy as possible for the committee and for the board. Promote and support local businesses and raise funds to support the local activities. And so really, if you take a look at this, the biggest thing that you will see is we're getting rid of, or proposing getting rid of, the membership card. So kind of feedback that had been collected was that either staff turnover at, or staff changes at different localities that were business sponsors, so they didn't know what was going on, plus kind of keeping up with all the businesses and all the different deals that you could have. So getting rid of that card, and instead of using that card to try and drive business, is really pushing events to drive business for businesses. So businesses can sign up. And in doing that, we're going to add them to our business list on the website. We'll give them social media boost, and they'll get a SUNY membership sticker or poster. We already have some, and we're looking at what those might look like moving forward. The nice thing about this is it's all stuff we already do. We're not adding any additional work besides kind of dropping off that membership sticker and poster. And I've talked with Mike about just reaching out to any new business. He already does this as well. already. And then the next level, so basically for $50 more, a business can get one promotion in our newsletter that goes out to 1,000 folks each year. This newsletter already goes out, so they'd basically be sending the material to us, and that can go in that. Again, it's one time per year, so this will let, Monkey Barrel can do their crawfish boil, or Mojave and Tejon could do their Cinco de Mayo party. So that way the business can kind of decide when they want to do it. And then that third level would be a business host. So they get those other perks, as well as the ability to host a Sunnyside Sipper. And I know I need to chat with Don a little bit more about this, is basically getting our list of all the sippers figured out. And that's how we're driving business to them versus using that membership card. One thing we discussed is, but what happens if you're a real estate agent, or what happens if you've got a business that you can't actually host a sipper? You could then co-sponsor one of those sippers, and you could have a table there, and you'd be on the promo as well. So being able to kind of hit all of our businesses there, but giving 3 distinct memberships for any of our businesses that aren't currently members there. So that's kind of the business membership. The other thing that I will say, this is part of the whole website piece as well, is one thing I'd like to do for businesses is creating a map of where folks are located. I know there's a couple of for-profits that do this, so it's kind of on like that hold until we figure out the website. But really being able to give to any new member or any new community member, and also on our website, and then like anyone that owns an Airbnb, being able to kind of see, hey, you don't have to go to Highlands, you don't have to go downtown. We have fantastic restaurants, we've got great bars, we've got lots of local shops that you can support without, in the neighborhood. So those are kind of what we're looking at. I was looking at with the business memberships. Since that's a specific one, if anyone has any thoughts, questions, and I'll also say, if you don't have thoughts or questions now, you can totally go into this document and make comments as well on it, and it won't screw anything up.
And Dawn, you've been around for a while, and one of the things that, and I, Lindsay, I think I told you this, and you came across some old documentation where we had these various levels, and when I came on, they had gotten rid of the levels, right? Because what they heard was, we rather pay less on an annual basis, and then you can hit us up for stuff. And so we kind of moved to this 99. Otherwise, we had 99, we had 199, and I think we had 299, right? That was not successful, and so we kind of scaled back to the 99. But Dawn, I don't know if you remember, or if you were involved when Michelle was doing this, about some of that, and whether this is the right path, or is it just repeating something that, we tried. And
I think that we found that there were more, we did have some $300 memberships, but there were more people that paid for the lower price memberships. And then it was like, well, we need more at this price point, or at this, to donate at this amount. So I think it's up to the business. As far as how much they want to contribute, but at the same time, I feel like we should just have one amount and try and make it consistent, because if they're, I just feel like if you give them, choices, then a lot of people are going to opt into that lower amount, and then it's going to drive down that business membership.
well, I would say that the lower amount is the only amount today, so that wouldn't change anything. I think the difference there is that right now for 99, we give away everything else.
Yeah, I agree. Just keeping it straight, the same amount across the board seemed to work out better for us.
So do we want to limit what we do for businesses right now if we want to cut back, or?
Well, I think we need to figure that out, because, we can't do a happy hour at every business that joins at $99. We can't promote everybody on
The
Facebook
logo, yeah.
X number of times. No, on the logo on the website, everybody would get there, right? Because that's a one-time deal. That doesn't require work, but
But as far as if they're involved in an event, whether or not, depending on their
or
sponsorship
the
of
number
an
of posts. It's the posts that would be, the real big thing is, would we not post? Right now, if you're at the 99 level, you're getting everything, and it is inconsistent because it really depends on, is anyone doing it? I mean, I've been doing it. I post stuff on Facebook right now. That's what I've been doing. So, and I just pick up and I just kind of try to do everybody all the time. But should we really be differentiating, how many times we put you on a newsletter? And the newsletter piece becomes important because we only have 12. You can't, you can't be on, we can't offer quarterly newsletter thing to everybody at the 99 level, because if we had 20, 25, which is the number we've been at, not right now, but pre-pandemic, that's would be a lot of posts that are business specific. And we try to stick to 2 or 3. And we also try to acknowledge new businesses and things like that. So I think we do have to be smart about where we're going to bring them value and what our capacity is, because we can't do it all. On Facebook is easy. It's the newsletter aspect that I think is definitely slightly different. And one of the things that I had said to Lindsay was that we got to make sure that anything we commit, we can actually do, and that we are doing. The last thing we want to do is commit to something and we're not keeping up our end. And that would be on us. And that would be on our marketing group, that'd be on whoever, our leadership. So there's 1 times a year on newsletter at 149. That's not bad. I mean, this is what we do today for 99. Social media boosts on SUNI Facebook page. Do we need a number? Do we have to quantify that? Is there so many? Is it once a month, but no more than once a month, or once a quarter, but no more? I think we do need to distinguish that. If not, we can't offer too much at 99, because if we did, we couldn't do it all for everyone.
Yeah, I think really the plan here was, I think, kind of twofold, is if we can all of a sudden then put a price tag on what is actually a promotion of an event cost in our newsletter. Here it gives it a $50 value, which is farther down the line of what we'd be looking at. I specifically didn't put a number around the number of Facebook posts, because then we aren't committed to doing 15 a year or even 2 a year. But those are definitely things we can get more specifics around. But the more specific we get around everything, the more things we have to track. So I was trying to keep a base of what we don't want to track, a base of what we need to track versus don't need to track. But what I'm hearing is that a straight across the board level is probably easiest. So if we just went with the 150 across the board, this is what you get. You can everything in that level. And we don't have a $99 level would be my probable suggestion of not doing levels.
So bump it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think we actually do more than the $99 worth, if I was to think about it, but we do it maybe inconsistently. But at the same time, one of the other things that in here, and part of this becomes a value proposition, and because people do ask this, when you try to solicit for businesses, they're like, what does this mean for me? And you have to be able to articulate, well, this is what it means. This is also going to be something we put on our website, which we don't have there today, which is what's the value of your membership. But one of the things is if you put it on them, which is when you want us to post something, like let's say for 99, you get, 1 post a quarter on Facebook. You put it on them and say, you let us know when you want us to do it. Almost no one is taking advantage of this. So, there's a way for us to be able to commit to something, that we could do, but at the same time, folks on that end are not necessarily able to do it. What I've been doing, and again, I think I've been trying to provide more value rather than less, but we need to think about what the cost of that work is I'm on Facebook pretty often. I'll just go look at all of our local businesses. If they have something going on, I'm just posting. So it fits our need to be relevant and post and share, and it supports them as well. But we haven't really said, well, you're at the 99 level. Why am I spending, time creating marketing for you or doing something for you versus you're at the 199 level. I should be doing a little bit more for you. But those are some of the things, but this is all a good discussion. Now, Lindsay, to your point of once a year, it's worth $50 to get something once a year. In your experience, and maybe we can reach out to other people, is once a year to 1,000 people on a newsletter worth $50? Emma, you might have some experience in this. What's your thought on the value of advertisement, but we don't want to be greedy and we're just not that big. So what's that really worth? Is that a better way to approach what we do and commit to doing?
I mean, I don't really work on the advertising side for business or anything, so I don't really have any sense of what that's worth.
And I can't speak to what it's worth, but I do think you need to consider the fact that there are a lot of different types of business in Sunnyside. I think that as you're making these plans, you're tending to think of specifically the retail businesses. The question is, how much do you want to go beyond the retail businesses? If you just want to find additional businesses that are not retail oriented, but you're asking them to support the organization much the same way residents do, then I think that would be a bad idea to get rid of the basic $99 membership, because there are a lot of businesses that just aren't going to get a lot of value out of it. They're more than willing to contribute as a member of the community, but there's not a lot of value there. So I think the 99 and the 149 bump are good. I think offering the 149 and you get promotion in the newsletter makes total sense. The only question I really have is on the business host. I guess, and I don't know whether this is true or not, but my perception is that we sometimes struggle to get SIPR hosts. And if we're going to struggle to get SIPR host, if we're going to make it, you have to pay for the right to have a SIPR, that seems counterintuitive to me. Plus, if you're going to ask them to pay to be a business host, is it that much more difficult to ask them to put out a good spread and donate a lot of food during the SIPR? Again, I've not run the SIPRs. I don't know how the SIPRs run, so I don't know how those things fit. But that's my reaction to bumping up the cost for the right to be a host.
So, but please clarify something. I wasn't clear when you said about the spread aspect. So for $199, we're saying you could be a host, but then we as SUNY are saying, please provide some additional freebies. Is that where you're going with? Well, now that's even more money out of my pocket, and is this all worth it?
Are you asking me? That's
yes.
what I meant.
No, I'm asking
correct.
you because you were talking about this, and you're a business owner, and so, but you mentioned that, so I'm curious. I wasn't clear on what you meant there, so that's why.
Right. I mean, to me, the SIPRs. My belief is, again, I've not run the SIPRs before, but my belief is that the SIPRs, we generally ask for whoever's hosting the SIPR to put out hors d'oeuvres and munchies or whatever they choose to. That's generally part of that being a host, is my belief.
But what is your thought that is then extra money that for $199 it's not worth it? I mean, and you're right. We ask, but it's a very soft. Sometimes it's like, we'll buy a card from you. Will you donate a card? Will you give food? Oh, we'll buy food. We've done both of those things in that, but and I think you've got some great insight on this, right? Like, is $199 worth it for you to host a SIPR at your space? And how many people need to show up in order for that to be of value to you? Besides, you get other postings and other advertisements, but you know, what's the value to you, yeah, as a business?
I mean, I think for the retail businesses, I would imagine it does have some value for them. All I'm really pointing out is that from my perspective, we'd now be asking them to not only pay more to be a business host, but then also asking them for the
Food.
assorted accoutrements of being a host.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I mean,
sorry.
that's a good
I,
point.
I say that's good. I have not been to a sipper. They haven't existed since I've been here. So what it sounds like is folks sound okay with those first two levels, and maybe we pull out the business host level until we figure out what's going on with sippers and events, and I don't touch those for now.
I think Sippers and Events is a conversation. Maybe it's not going to happen till June at this point for this group, but it's something that we need to talk about because it is one of the ways that we stay relevant by being out there. It's also one of the ways that we bring value to our businesses, which are important partners. And I think Bill, you mentioned like it's difficult to get sippers. I think right now, I don't think the difficulties in finding sippers. I think the difficulty has been in our group wanting to do them or organizing them. That's been more the hesitation. I think a lot of folks would be happy if we just brought people to their space. But we're just kind of in a holding pattern a little bit because of COVID and all that other stuff. So but I think it's important to note that for businesses, events or these sippers or these happy hours, it's a variable and it's part of the value. And if we as a group can't get ourselves around organizing a monthly happy hour, then hosting level can just be gone. And then what do? So now we have the other two levels. And when they do host, we say, we'll host if you provide the spread and do a gift card. Maybe that's the answer. But I think that, as a group, we need to figure out whether, how much time we're going to spend on events. And is that something, and I get it, that's a changing environment right now. But anybody else with kind of, what do we do? What's the next step? Events are important, but events are kind of problematic right now. Or touch and go.
Yeah, whatever we can do to make this as simple as possible. I think I do kind of agree with Bill. Maybe we should just kind of separate how and what we want to do with Sunnyside Sippers away from this, but as it's perceived in this, it is kind of, it seems like a cost. It's not a benefit of a membership. It seems to me it's kind of something.
I will say
it's not a perk of membership. It could be. It could not be.
Actually, it has been. That has been maybe the biggest perk. Has been, we'll host something in your space, because to them, what that means is we'll bring business to you. So it typically has been the biggest perk of why you'd become a member, is we will host something in your space. We offer that at the 99 level, but it's, what do we do with other forms of influence, whether it's newsletter or Facebook posts? How do we monetize it?
Maybe we could just change this to get more of that kind of standardized business level membership, and then have just like a host a Sunnyside Sipper as just a separate promo item that somebody can buy, as opposed to an annual membership.
I like that. I also like that you can buy an advertisement in the newsletter. So we can just,
that stuff where the challenge there is, who's going to go spend the time to sell these? I mean, we don't hire anybody. Nobody's going to be focusing on those. I think it's easier to embed them. I think the value seems easier to sell as an embedded thing than it would be just from someone who goes and talks to our business memberships and talks about, shaking them down is like what I try to do. And it's like, this is what you hear, so.
Why don't
host-
we go, what, would people
is
feel okay if
something-
we just went with the 149 level with what it's at and only do one level and get rid of everything else and we can reassess it next year if we decide we should do something more?
I think we need to figure out what you get for that 149 though.
I would say-
Today for 99,
Mhm.
we're saying we're gonna host a sipper and you can have a free table at our jazz, and that's it really, I think. And we, we have to go back and look at some of those materials, but this is kind of a new branding, and we want to make sure that it looks better than the old branding, not worse than the old branding, right? But good conversation on this whole hosting aspect and whether that is valuable or not. So I appreciate that. Lindsay, anything else? I know we're kind of out of time.
Yeah, the other thing, and this is probably gonna need the actual approval, because if we want to start this, is for residential members, what we said is everybody in Sunnyside's a member because everyone's can vote on stuff, but to be a supporter, it's $25 for the individual and $45 for a household and $10 for senior. That is an increase from where it currently is, $20 from the individual. So it's an increase of $5 and an increase of $10 per household. And really pushing it as we're supporting the neighborhood, we're supporting neighborhood events. And then you can get, when we have events, you get a raffle ticket if you are a supporter. And then you can also get Sunnyside swag, which I'm working on with a local marketer of getting a budget and what those things would look like.
So I do want to say with the raffle and events, this is something that Honey already does, which is when they do their happy hours, they give raffles to all their paid members. So anybody who is a supporting member gets a raffle ticket for the prizes. The people who just show up, it's all great. They're part of that whole thing. And there's whatever specials there are. If there's free food, nobody's like saying that. But to enter into the raffle, you're a supporting member. I think we've talked about it. We've done it. We've not done it. Maybe not been consistent. So I don't think it's unheard of. But for the money, we should figure out where we land. I don't know if that's high, low, what our community can tolerate. Does it make sense? Today we have 20, 35, and 10. Lindsay is proposing 25, 45, and 10, leaving the seniors at 10 still. But family moving up from 35 to 45, and individual moving from 20 to 25. Any thoughts on that? I think Bill's gone. Thank you, Bill.
What is the membership? I mean, if we're moving the family membership up, what are the perks of that membership going to be also?
So those are the ones those are the raffle ticket at events. You get your monthly email and you get your Sunnyside swag.
Now we've talked more broadly about trying to figure out a special in coordination with our businesses. Again, it takes work, but whether as a business, as a member, as a resident member, different groups can hold different happy hours, kind of open. But I think what Lindsay's going is people should just be thinking about supporting us because we're doing the work of the neighborhood and we're here as a resource. So really switching it from you show up for a prize to you show up because we're talking about important issues. But the swag and some freebies, I think that's part of marketing and branding. Like if we want to get our name out there and we want stickers on everybody's water cans, we got to give those things away. And we've had this conversation, which is, a lot of people join, most people join, they're not using their benefit. Some people join for the benefit. It's really trying to figure out whether, what's the right balance there and what do people want and need. But we need to nail some of this stuff down if we're going to move forward and try something or go back to something or do something. I will say, I don't think we need to raise our prizes. We could try that. I don't think, our mission isn't profit motive for the most part. It's much more engagement based. That's what we should be focusing on. That's what we care about. However that happens, whether that's we're bringing value, we're having events, or, they're buying into our organization somehow.
Yeah, I agree with the overall sentiments of, really the purpose of what we're doing here is people pay because they want to help, a community grassroots organization that is doing the engagement work in the community and keeping people apprised of what's going on, as opposed to, I want my coupon book or whatever for local businesses, yada, yada. I think maybe we should probably be doing, changing from this card system to just member, and as opposed to doing that and changing the prices in the same year. So maybe just go with attempting to keep the prices the same, and if we need to up prices a following year, we can do that, but just kind of not trying to do too many changes at once. And if we change to a more, just kind of general, not doing the card carrying member thing anymore, to just a member and a supporter system, it's clearer in the future when we do change prices as to, what's going on. It's just easier.
Cool. So I think the important one is just knowing for the annual meeting what we want to do for membership, because that's when we hope to sell a bunch. So I think we're not changing prices. Business membership, I'm not too concerned. I don't think a ton of people are going to join.
Yeah, but I think we need to be prepared to respond to, oh, is there a such and such? Because that's what they remember. And some people, there are a lot of people, I bought a card, but I always forget it. It's not like the reason I really do it, and there are some people who are like, I love the card. That's the motivating factor. And it's hard to distinguish. But I think we may need a response to people asking, well, you've changed that value. What are you doing instead? But to Bobby's point, I think we need to transition to being valuable as an organization and as a resource, to the community. And that's our value, not a card. Now, doing events and that piece is part of it. We'll do happy hour, we'll do networking, we do these welcoming things, new resident welcome things, whatever it is. And I think we can work on the value aspect that isn't something that doesn't really work anyway, even though it sounds good and it works for like 25 people. You know what I mean? 25 people would probably say like, where's my card?
Yeah, I think I think the value prep that we had talked about was replacing the card with some of these events, but until we figure out what those events look like, it's hard to replace that card. So it's almost like, hey, we'll make it sound pretty, but we're not doing the cards. We're going to support with events that are forthcoming, and you'll get invites to those.
So I still think the raffle, raffle for things, invitation to, something. So, and the swag. So I think we should talk about if we have some swag that we give to people who sign up, and possibly let's work on a budget. How do people think about swag? Because to me, it's marketing and branding and getting our name out there. The other part of it is people getting something, which is what they may expect. It's a little psychological. but at the same time, we don't want garbage that is going to end up in the garbage, right? So what are people's thoughts on the value of membership, raffle, swag, events? Is that enough? Or are we not going to be able to sell this?
I mean, it depends on what
I
the
mean,
swag is. If it's like, are we thinking about shirts, or what type of swag is it?
Oh, it's
Because,
definitely not shirts.
right.
We can't afford $15 shirts for a $25 membership.
Absolutely. So you have to think about what the,
No, it's smaller. It's smaller. So yeah, it is smaller.
I think
To me, it's marketing.
like sunglasses, chapsticks.
Chapstick.
Let me pull up the list. So
Hey,
I
by the way, who are you talking to about this? Because we have a local individual who's also in that. Did you talk to Anna Costello?
yeah, that's who I'm talking to.
Okay,
So
perfect.
she was on spring break last week, so I couldn't get it with her last week, but for
Okay,
me,
yeah, she's wonderful. And we've got another person in the neighborhood who is, wants to give back. She's the one who does the free baskets if you like nominate somebody to get a gift because they need an uplift. She's working with Quig Newton. She is, wanting to do stuff, but she just moved into this business of the swag. So I don't know what the prices are, but.
okay, I think that sounds good. If folks have other thoughts on that, send it my way, but I'll kind of pull together what we just discussed and have something again. It doesn't sound like there's really any changes that we need to make prior to the annual meeting. I'll put together those pieces, and then once I get the information on the swag, I'll send it out via email.
I think talking points, right? I think talking points. If people say, oh, we used to get a card, we need a talking point that says, what we're really focusing on are important issues in the neighborhood and being a resource. And that's where we think our value is. Like, so maybe talking points, because people may ask about, well, what do I get for this? So we may need some talking points for that.
Yeah,
for
that's
business is
what I'll
not an
pull
issue.
together from that's what I'll pull together and send back out. I'll update this
Okay.
document.
Okay, all right. We're not going to get to a website today, maybe June. Anything else, anyone? Thank you for folks who stayed extra 15 minutes. All right, then we can wrap this up and adjourn here. Thank you very much, guys. See you all very soon, and we'll be in touch, obviously, for the work. Bobby, you're staying because we're talking about something?
yeah.
All right.
Right.
Bye, guys. Thanks, everyone.
thanks. Bye.
Tripty, if you want to stop sharing your screen, I can share mine. I got that
Okay,
thing
what you
open
got?
in Adobe Illustrator right now.
Damn it, I need more wine. I need more
Me
wine.
too.
Ugh,
Me too.
but I gotta go take this with me, go find a bottle, open it
So-
up.
So I got it.
Did you
I got
already do
everything
this?
in here. Yeah, I got it in here and opened up. The only things I need from you are, is it the
Who
same
who the
business sponsors or not?
sponsors? Okay, so, all right, number one, Bean Benita's is not a sponsor. Bean Benita's is never a sponsor. They're always a beneficiary of something we do, right? We never get something for, they're a food pantry. If anything, we try to help them. We don't get anything from them. For this thing, what I think is gonna happen, I hope, is Crush, maybe El Jefe, and Diebold. So try to make room for one more, but at that smaller level, because El Jefe, if we can, well, again, let's go back to what the fuck we don't want to touch food. What can El Jefe give us that people can't touch? Actually, yeah, you know what? Wait, I'm not recording. Fuck all these people. Like we could have tongs and spoons and we could have people doing it. But if El Jefe's gone, Diebold can come in his place for $250. I think Crush is closer to 400, with food. So I'm waiting on them. So Crush can stay. El Jefe most likely will be gone. Diebold will be replaced, and then we could change the dates. That's about it.
Okay,
Yep,
I got the dates changed. So I guess when's the you want me to just go with this, or do you want me to just wait until I get a text message from you as to who
Oh,
the
no, you
sponsors
gotta
are?
wait. And this will be the thing that takes the most time. And they may not do shit and nobody gets shit and then, you know, whatever. My hope is that we get some free food. But,
Mhm.
you know, I saw ones like Bienvenidos is definitely out. We are also, oh, that's because we did a food drive. So one of the things that when I started, I was like, we should always have a charitable thing. And I still like that, you know, to have a charitable thing that we are collecting, donating. That was the reason that was in there. We probably did a canned food drive for Bienvenidos. We could leave that in there now because it's, you know, it's not, they're not going to say no, don't give a shit, you know? But so leave that. But I think it's going to be Crush and Diebold, or if not Crush, someone else and Diebold. Okay, that's my guess. So what I need to send you, and actually you could just, I'll look to see if I have it somewhere in MailChimp or the website where we've used their logo. If not, we can get their logo. But I should have an answer on Diebold soon. I talked to him about it. Because I told him, I said, at a $250, $300 level, you can't afford to go send something to 5,000 households. This would cost some thousands, you know, but he's like, I might do it anyway. And we're talking about like, okay, maybe I can find you like 3 other businesses and you all move in on a common, you know, this is us just kind of helping them think about value and helping bring people together to make that happen. But what I want is to get a few $100s from him. And I would put his, you know, name on here. Now, oh, it gets better. He's also like, I want to get one of my glasses with the Diebold on it in every household. And I was like, give us some cases. I'll give that shit away because that just makes it easy for us to be like, show up and we give you free shit, right? So talking to him about that, and if he wants to give away glasses, there'll be a case of glasses next to everybody who pays membership or is a paid member, right? But so I'll work on that. If you already got this going, nothing really needs to change, you know? So
Okay.
just
Is the PO box correct?
probably not. Hold on. Yes, it is. Can't believe it. Can't believe it.
Okay.
It was wrong for years. That's why I'm like, wow, it's right. That's the right PO box. Yes. So yeah. So
So
75.
yeah, just let me know and I'll
Okay,
swap
you're
things
ready
out,
to
and
go. So what I would
Yeah.
say is turn the front of this. So go back to the front page. Okay.
turn like just
Turn
this thing
this
into a
into
poster.
a poster. Into a
We could do that.
poster, and logos get bigger, and maybe we can sell a little bit more. You know, to me, it's like logos. Oh, send me a logo for $250. I'll put a logo on, you know. So think about how much room there really is on here for a logo. I think we were like 2, but really it's a $3,000 event. Is it? Yeah. You know, we could probably use a little bit more. So you're ready to go. So you're just going to wait on me, and either we're paying for it and we just remove them and we're ready to go, or we get something for, you know, for free. That's kind of it. So let's just give it a, you know, go, no go date this week, like Thursday.
Okay.
Let's decide by Thursday. Crush is the only one I asked because they've done it, I think, more than once. And I just sent him a reminder, like, if you don't want to do it, I'll ask another pizzeria, but I just want to ask you first, you know? So let's see where he says anything. El Jefe probably going to be replaced by Diebold. Okay. So that's my sense there. And we'll buy, because we don't want to do a lot of food. We're going to have a couple of platters from wherever we're getting from, King Super. So it's pizza and King Super, which is not a lot of money anyway. So it would probably be more valuable for Diebold to have their name on there with a coupon or something, and we could probably get free glasses to give away if he's ready to do something like that.
Okay, that
Yeah,
works.
you're all good. You got it going. The second page has that chick's name on it, right?
Yeah,
That's the only thing I
it's over
get.
here. It's over here down on the bottom.
Yep. And on the Bienvenidos, it's a matter of us deciding whether we're going to do a drive or not. That's what, and that could go too, right? We could put in zero waste event, everything's compost, like we can, you know, use that space to do something else about who we are. or something else. You know, if you think of something else that we want to promote us internally, because if we're not doing a drive, we could use that space for promoting ourselves.
Well, I was thinking we could put a QR code on here for like just the website landing page, but I don't know. I mean,
Oh.
it's whatever.
Oh, no. We should actually, I have a QR code that goes to our website, period. And we should, we should have a QR code to our website all the time.
Okay, I can
So
throw one of
I
those in
think
here.
that's what we should do.
I can make one in Adobe InDesign in like 2 seconds, so I can just throw it on there. I don't need the one you have.
Okay, doesn't matter. Yep, as long as it just, I would say it just goes right to our website, nowhere else. Like, not to an event, not to a different landing page, just to our website, because everything up from there should be, and I don't think we're gonna lose our domain or anything like that, so we should be fine. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I would do. Yeah, because we haven't even talked about trying to do a fundraiser for this, so go ahead and remove Bienvenidos and throw in our QR code.
Okay, I will do that.
All right, I think that's it. You've got it already covered. So awesome. Just get the get the poster size.
The poster
Tony?
going.
Yep, and then, I think most of the times we want the bleed marks on there, which I think that has there. So yeah, just have it
Yeah,
ready.
this
to
is
save
the
and- Yeah, have it ready to save, and I think we'll be ready to do that.
this is the PDF once it renders.
Do you like the red,
So-
the green, or the yellow?
We could tell them to print it in all three. Just do thirds of each. Well, I don't know if that might make it more expensive. I don't know.
Probably. It's
Probably
cheaper to
red.
do one.
Probably red. This
Okay.
red contrasts nice with the pizza.
Okay, there you go.
This isn't blurry. My computer's just slow.
Okay,
I'm on the
I think
laptop.
that's it. Okay, since I think I'm going to be missing land use and the pre-land use here, anything going on? Anything on the radar? Anything you need my help or anything to do there?
I haven't heard from Billy, so nothing going on there. I need to get the comment card thing out about the bylaws, yada yada, whatever. But I
Okay.
don't expect much there, because the only business I'm really going to do at this next meeting with that is say, okay, thanks for your comments. We're going to open it up for another month. So
Okay, right. So you'll present it for the first time at this, and then you're going to open it up for comments and.
well, this will be the
Yeah.
second time. This will be the second time we've talked about it.
No,
So-
we have, but you never sent anything out though about.
Right,
the-
right.
We talked about doing a Survey Monkey about it or something, whatever it is.
Right.
But we haven't done it. So, and you know what?
So I'm gonna open up that Survey Monkey like next week, hopefully. So it's like 2 weeks before the meeting, it's out and going. And then at that meeting again, I'm gonna say, okay, we said the deadline was this meeting, but we're gonna open it up again for another whole 2 weeks. Let us know. And then
Yep.
send like another reminder of, if you didn't get a chance to comment, please do.
Yep.
But other than that, it's just Billy Wang. So I don't know what that.
Oh, okay. So forget Billy Wang, because so if there isn't anything else that's popping up, because there's something happening, is there something that you want to work on from an educational standpoint that you want to try to put together?
Well, Rod actually had a good idea he had a group from, I think it's the Congress of New Urbanism or
Yes,
something,
yes.
but they had a little education tutorial, like 15-minute thing about modular buildings.
Oh, good.
Here's how they work, blah, blah, blah.
I like it.
And I thought that's great, but if Billy Wang's at that same meeting, is he gonna feel like he's being targeted? Because his is a modular and we're talking about modular at the same time.
First of all, he hasn't committed to shit. I don't think he knows what he's doing. And no, I think the modular is a great conversation unless you had a better one, unless you wanted to talk Dottie, unless you wanted to talk parking, unless you wanted to talk something else to line up, unless you wanted to talk sustainability and trash. There are people, so there's a good point. There are people always have agendas that they want to talk about, right? So our climate sustainability folks, that this pay-as-you-throw situation is big, and they would be willing to come to this meeting if you wanted to give them time. I just didn't know that we had time or not. And I was like, I was like, I don't have time. She reached out to me like in September, and I was like, we go on break from October to January, and then we were setting up for this annual meeting, and it's like, I can't have you till June. But if you want to get somebody from climate folks, we could do that. If we want to get somebody from climate from Inc., we could do that. If we want to get Waste No More, that whole thing, a ballot initiative, we can do that. I'm just, it's kind of, there's lots of topics, but it's a matter of like, well, do they fit in land use? Do I want to focus on that? Or is there something better? So if you have time, I can keep my, there's probably stuff out there and we could find people to show up for that. What about that?
Yeah, I'll call Rod back or email him back and tell him, because he had originally said they would be willing to come to the next meeting. So I'll hit them up and see if they can do a little
So there will
thing.
still be time beyond that, though, possibly, right?
Well, it's that
No. You got the
bylaws.
Billy, no, you probably won't. No, modular could
Yeah.
take up the rest of that conversation. And all right. And actually, we should get somebody from the city to give us their
Oh, I
take
forgot.
on the modular, because that's the missing link there. We don't really know where they stand on that. So get Esteban or somebody from CPD to show up and kind of give us their perspective on modular.
Okay.
I think that's doable if that works for you.
And I also just remembered Mr. Pickle asked to be pushed back to this meeting. So
Oh,
he will be on the agenda too.
okay.
I think
Then you might
he's
not have any
I
more
think he's just kind of all over the place. He doesn't really have much to, or there's not much there. He's kind of just, brought up something in the neighborhood, but his real angle is like, I don't like this development in my backyard. So, but it's not even a zoning change, so it's nothing we can really do about it. So,
Right.
so I'll let him speak if he wants to, but I don't expect much to come out of that.
Yep, probably not. Probably not.
He seemed pretty ambivalent even of speaking at the last meeting, so we'll see if he actually chickens out and does it or not. But that's also something that might be on the agenda.
So Bill is stepping off. Woo! I did accomplish something in 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, but I
Oh,
actually, I don't
Jonathan
think we
Drought.
need him for
Jonathan
much.
Drought wants to join.
Yes, he does want to join, right?
Yeah. So that'll
And
be
he
the other thing.
should, until he proves himself to be an asshole. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're bringing value to this group and you're working on stuff, until you're not doing those things. But at the same time, I mean, and honestly, maybe I'm biased, but you're not losing much with Bill. I'm just saying, you're not, but who, I mean, back to the who we want to bring in. We talked about that social aspect. Is Tavani one of those people, or he's too out there, or that Chad dude who wants to work on Dottie? Like, let's go back. Let's think about the areas that we want to focus on, and then find someone who says, oh yeah, I want to go push those doors down. You know what I mean? So it could be capital improvements, it could be, budget, it could be transportation. So think of the areas that, I mean, all of those that are impactful over there, but then look for the people who want to be in that space.
Yeah.
And you might want to reach out to Bill and just kind of like, hey, do you know anybody who'd be good to join? I can't think of anybody right now, inherently, but maybe he knows somebody, that he's come across that would be valuable. And again, if you think you could, use him and he could be a part of something you're trying to accomplish, more power to you, keep him on the land use.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Jonathan Drought to be secretary, and
You should.
for now at least just task him with minutes. I can make the agendas, that's fine, and kind of want to anyway as the chair to just be aware of what's going on, but
Yeah.
just to take one less thing off the task list of
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
everyone's doing a little bit of everything.
And we got somebody doing, well, so we got Mike doing more liquor. Okay, wait, what's your thought on the liquor license, GNA? I mean, it's legit. It could belong and not belong, but our thing is we have no other public meeting besides land use to do anything. And maybe we need a meeting, but I don't see this group wanting to do another meeting, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it belongs in land use, but I think, from the discussion the other day, the thing we need to do is either in our bylaws or in some or other sort of just SOP, even if it's just like a one-pager standard operating procedures, just kind of set out what the goals of SUNY land use are in terms of liquor license. So
Yes.
it's not it's not ground zero every time somebody comes up with an application, and then we got, because like the other day with, I value everybody's opinions, but Mike doesn't like stuff open late, and then somebody else wants something open late and would like a drink open late, and it's like, okay, well,
Right.
what does Blueprint Denver say? What's the city code? What things are we actually going to ask for, and what things shouldn't we?
And well, this
You
goes
know.
back. This goes back to we probably at some level need to be polling people a little bit about some of these aspects and something that we can say, we asked, this is what we heard. Because
Mhm.
I think you're right. I mean, I wasn't even, for what he was saying. I was like, look, the demand, will drive a lot of how long they're open. All I care about is noise or drunken people or trash. Like the things that most people care about are those things. Nobody cares. And those things come with drunken people. You know what I mean? All of those things come with drunken people. So, we can't say like we don't want drunken people because that's not going to work. But we could say we don't want trash, we don't want graffiti, we don't want this, we don't want noise past a certain hour, whatever. And so I think with Mike, like, and I think this is a valuable conversation, which is on 44th, what's the right solution? On 38th, what's the right solution? On federal, what's the right solution? On Pecos, what's the right solution? Because it could be different. And we could be looking at things like arterial versus corridor versus this and coming up. And there are already people out there who do it. But I think with Mike right now, what my concern would be is that it's so new that I feel like we could start becoming inconsistent if we don't start thinking about, that right away. And like, I think there's a slight inconsistency right now with Radiator, but the only reason I'm like, is Radiator has a hotel restaurant and Monkey Barrel has a cabaret. But I think we should think about what those provisions need to be for hotel, restaurant, tavern, cabaret, beer and wine. What are those things? And along with whatever the state stuff is, what can we do or ask for? And they need to make sense in the space. So I think it's a little bit of work, just like you're already doing. But I would say and I think Mike has the capacity, although he did not fucking show up today without telling me he wasn't showing up. I think he'd be in line with being like, oh yeah, I can understand. Like he's like, oh yeah, flow charts, this, that. He's a very corporate guy. He'll understand having policy and guideposts for stuff to make life easier for all of us. So I think we need to think about liquor license from the type and the location and really, really the location, like you're next to residence versus you're next to a warehouse. Very different what it could look like. So I think that's where I think we should move and put it on him to work through with some of those. So I'd say work with him. I think he's really capable. And and when there we have a difference of like, I think it should be midnight. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's not. How do we get to that answer? How do we really poll people to? So it's something that I think we should work on this year is ask a lot more questions from people and get a sense, like, from people, even if we did it not officially, but all of us, as we're talking to residents in any capacity we ask these questions that we think are relevant for us to understand where people are at. And at least we use that. So I think that's a bit of a strategy on how we get to having more of a mandate. Because right now we don't have a mandate unless we, figure out how to have a mandate, or it's your and my mandate and not the community mandate. So we haven't worked on that, but that's kind of the thing. Same thing for liquor license. But I think you could put it on him to work on how to do that. And then we could all work on it together. But, I think he'd be up, but it's similar to land use. So, but yeah, I don't think it needs to be somewhere else. It could be somewhere else. I just don't know where else for it to be right now.
Yeah, no, I think it's in land use. It might be kind of ancillary to our main mission, but it's still use related.
I think so. I think so. But yeah, let's work with Mike. I think he's a good egg, in general. And he has time and capacity, but just gotta work with him to do this. So I completely think it's possible, but we need to iron out some of these things so that you, me, and he, or 5 or 6 people aren't really just talking about what it is we think, because that could be 5 different things. We really need to figure out what the community at large thinks. We haven't done that very well, but we can do that. I mean,
and this is part of that kind of land use education and training thing is,
yes,
we could just have at one of our meetings, okay, we're going to talk about liquor, hotel, beer, just licensing in
you could throw
general.
that on. You could throw that on, but that will take up the entire meeting. That's the
and
only
just have
problem.
someone from the city talk about it. It's like, here's the general high points. And
I've
then
done this.
after that meeting, we send out a survey and say, what is your biggest consideration? What should the land use committee, what should be our deciding factors when seeking support or opposition, that sort of thing.
Yeah, agree. And we've done this education thing, but it was very specific because we were dealing with Monkey Barrel. But we had like a group of 40 people, and we had excise and license attorneys and policy analysts answer questions. And it was really good, but it was, again, specific to Monkey Barrel. We did so it was regional, right? It was like the couple of blocks around Monkey Barrel or the people who were invited. We haven't had a liquor license kind of conversation or education that says, did you know that if you got a beer or wine license, you don't even have a city permit. You just have to deal with the state. And if you're a manufacturer and you're producing, well, then it looks like this. And then it looks like this. And then we could certainly have like a Bonakisti or a Walshanky or a Jimmy Nig or Kieran O'Brien from Radier. Not Kieran would not be the right guy because he's fucking stupid. So, not being recorded. Yeah, he's not that fucking smart. But somebody who's like in that space, like his attorney, but kind of saying this is what that means, or this is how it works. So we could do that, but it would take up the entire land use meeting. So that's the only situation, but it's a worthwhile thing because most people don't understand some of those, nuances about how liquor license, land use, special event permits work.
Yeah.
Future. So yeah, I say do the CNU, but maybe, keep a liquor license as a thing for the future, like liquor license education and GNA, and what do you want us to do? Show up. People who give a shit show up. The people who are against it and for it and nothing in between. That's who's going to show up. But we'll get an idea of people who show up.
Yeah.
So I think that's
okay.
Doable. All right.
Well, let me know on those the ads who's in, who's out, and
In the
I'll
next
put it
2-3
together.
days, just bug me if you don't hear from me. But I'm gonna, you know what? Like I said, we're paying for it. That's kind of why we got it approved. Trying to get it for free, but beyond that, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you very much. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.